Hello everyone, this is Angel Esquivel here, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on movies I have seen of January 2026. It's funny because when I was making this video, before I made this video, I was thinking like, what kind of content do I want to make? And I've been thinking about like months and months, and it just like obviously I haven't posted in a long time, but I do realize since I have the A-list AMC membership, I noticed I watched like two movies a week, which basically counts to almost like 8 movies a month. So I'm thinking like, you know what? I'm just gonna make short reviews on each movie I have seen of 2026 of this January. So without further ado, let's get to the review. So I've only seen 7 movies since last January, and I guess the last movie that I have to put on number 7, which is the worst movie of January, and that's going to be Return to Silent Hill. This movie, it was so disrespectful, like to like the fans and especially to the original game. It's like it's like the director that they chose like from the first movie literally knows nothing about the game at all. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, I've never played the game, but I have learned about the lore and stuff like that. And I can already know that this movie was not accurate to the story. And at first I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna give it a chance. But after seeing it, I'm like, this was not worth it. But I mean, at least I saw it for free. I mean, for a month. But if there's one thing I do thank this movie for is that at least it made me got into the games, like the Silent Hill 2, which later I would like to play. But yeah, this movie, that how so bad it was, it's just, I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 10. Greenland 2 Migration, it's an okay movie, I think, but personally I feel like there wasn't really need for a sequel. And I think the first one was actually good as it was, but the second one, I feel like it didn't really add much. It almost just felt like the same, just like years later. So for this movie, I just gave it a 5 out of 10. Primate is actually a really good movie. I actually did enjoy watching they're making like a horror movie based out of a chimpanzee, and which is crazy how in real life we actually have like actual horror stories about chimpanzees. Even though it wasn't as depictedly as disturbing as how in real life situations what they used to document when like chimps used to attack people before, but honestly, it felt more like a popcorn friend flick that you can just watch out with your friends. But I think there are some parts that it does kind of drag, but I mean as a horror movie, I mean that's what it is. It's a horror movie, so yeah, there's moments where it will drag. So for this movie, I do give it a solid 7 out of 10. Mercy is also a really good movie that I saw the last January, and it's interesting because people have been saying oh, it's bad, it takes place in one spot. I'm like, well, I mean, due to the context for the story, it makes sense because he's actually trying to prove himself that he's not guilty. And people compare this movie to World of Worlds. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does have that similarity, but except this movie makes sense and it's actually better. If any disappointments? Well, I mean, I guess it takes place in one spot, but that's barely not really an issue with me. But yeah, just like Primate, I'm giving this movie a 7 out of 10. Send Help is basically like Castaway, but in a horror movie. And when I heard that Sam Raimi was directing this, I immediately knew I was already gonna like this movie. What's crazy about this movie is that we have our two protagonists who are they're kind of shitty people in their own ways. It's kind of hard to make you root for which one's who, which one is the good one and who's the bad one, because they're both bad, but they're both good in their own ways. So, but in the end, it's you'll find it surprisingly, towards the end. But I'm not gonna really spoil who that is. But I'm just gonna tell you that it's towards the middle of the movie, you don't even know who to root for. But it's a really entertaining movie to watch, and it has a really great plot twist. So this movie, I give it an 8 out of 10. Iron Lung is got to be the most surprising movie to come out in not only this year, but probably in a century, because this is the first movie that I've heard that is literally that is directed, written, and by Markiplier, who is actually one of my favorite YouTubers since I watched as a kid. And what's even crazy is that he actually like published and financed the movie himself, which gives us like a sense of hope that you don't need a distributor or like a big distributor like Warner Brothers, Universal, or etc. to actually help you distribute a movie. You can just have a lot of money and distribute the movie itself. This gives people who want to be indie film directors a hope that anyone can make a movie. And honestly, this movie sort of gives me more of that like motivation and inspiration to actually to make movies. But I mean, even though I'm not talking about, but even though I'm kind of getting off topic, but the story, I mean, there are some slow burn. Yeah, this movie is more like a slow burner. It does like drag in some moments, but like I think towards like half of the end of the middle and like the ending of the movie, it gets really intense because I don't really know much about like the game of Iron Lung. All I know is that Markiplier plays it, and Iron Lung is based off of a video game. But I actually did really enjoy seeing Markiplier, like his performance. Like I think like it's not the greatest, but he actually did his best, you know. For this movie, I do give it an 8 out of 10. Oh yeah, and by the way, I just want to say that it's funny how like Hollywood is afraid of a movie like Iron Lung, because this finally sends a message that like, yeah, we don't fucking need Hollywood. You know, we can just make movies ourselves. For the number one spot of the best movie I've seen of January 2026, it's got to be 20 years later, Bone Temple. I actually really like this movie. I gotta say, this was probably better than like the last 28 years later movie that came out, because I mean, I didn't thought they were gonna top that one out, but this one really did. And it's surprising coming from the director who directed Marvels, but then again, the people who made the last movie, they were involved with the project, so that's at least made the movie good. There wasn't really much, like, I gotta say, part of like the disappointments is like there wasn't really much zombies. It was more like storytelling, like more like it's more like more people just talking. But then again, like I think it was done well for this kind of movie, because most zombie movies we expect like, oh, more zombie apocalypse, shooting, you know, and killing more zombies. But this one, it actually focused on like character build, and this is the first time we ever see it like in a zombie movie, but we finally see that they made a zombie become a character instead of just a mindless character or a mindless monster. And yeah, the performances from like all the actors were just amazing. So yeah, this is probably like the best movie I've seen of January so far. It's funny because people keep saying that, oh, January has like worst movies, but so far it actually started off really good. So number 7, it's Return to Silent Hill. Number 6, Greenland 2. Number 5, Primate. Number 4, Mercy. Number 3, Send Help. Number 2, Iron Lung. And number 1, 28 Years Later. You know, I would have put, you know, Iron Lung was probably got to be my second favorite. I could have given like a few more, like probably like a 9. But the thing is, like, you know, obviously it was like a slow burner. It's like one of those movies that takes place in one spot. Oh, but I know you're gonna say Mercy takes place in one spot too. But except Iron Lung, it stars Markiplier, who everyone freaking loves. So that's gonna be today's movie reviews of January 2026. So like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon up there. And there's my new Instagram page that I just started putting up. So I'm gonna try my best to like start posting like probably like once or twice a week. So, this is Angel Esquivel here, and as always,
I'm going to turn into a truck now. Birch church a church, a ding ding church. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. I came to win.